Good morning. My name is Daniel Perez. Today I will be doing a presentation titled Ownership in Virtual Worlds and E-commerce of Virtual Goods. With this presentation, I'm aiming on discussing topics revolving around these things that are being sold online and the ethical and legal issues that has arise directly from this. First, I would like to discuss what exactly is being sold with these virtual goods. It's not only those physical items that you buy in a website and they get to your house. It can be things to decorate a profile on your social media or a cloth for a character in a game or something more serious like land, virtual land, like if it was real estate in real life or NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, which I'm going to be discussing later on the presentation. Although this is a virtual world, there is real money and real time invested in it by the people who are really into this. With all of this, there are questions that people make. What is exactly what the users are being sold, or what are they buying? The ownership to this item or a license, just a license. Only in year 2021, there were $54 billion moved within this industry. So we can see that this is a real thing and it has a really impact um, on people. To get the money from a user to the other, what they mainly use is microtransactions, which makes everything easier to transport the money from a bank account to another. There are two types of items. As I discussed earlier, there are items that are only for cosmetical purposes to make something prettier or things like that. Other type of items is financial items, which are those that you expect a profit after you buy it and then later you sell it and gain some money. Now with this, there's two terms that really confuse people in this community, which is ownership and access. When they buy something, users expect um, that they are or they feel like if they were obtaining ownership directly for that item, and it's not usually like that. Usually, what they are really obtaining is a license to that specific item, and it's not always the same license since platforms have different terms and different policies. Also, I would like to discuss deeper what really is an NFT, which are those paintings or maybe random virtual things sold online. I would like to make this analogy. Let's say that I have a dollar bill and my friend has another dollar bill. If we want to sell that dollar bill, we will get the same value. But if my dollar bill is signed by a famous person, it will get more value. So when I sell that dollar bill, I will gain more money for it. And it's exactly the same reason why these random things online gain so much value sometimes. For example, there was an NFT of a monkey, which at first didn't have a lot of value, but famous people started and having buying some of these NFTs, and like this, they were obtaining more and more value with time. Now there are different types of ways of handling this depending on the government. For example, here in the United States, the intellectual property rights are more supported towards the what the platform says, not so much the users. This is a real this is a really new world, this virtual world. So there are issues sometimes identifying what is really important and what is not. And here in the United States, it's not always considered as if it was something really important. While in China, it's different because they always make strict regulations with these things. There's a case of a player of a Chinese game called Red Moon, and that he lost a skin for the character cloth, and he sued the company, and the Chinese government actually supported this person, and he was compensated for it. So it really varies depending on the country you're living in and what they consider that is really important. Now, this also changes depending on the perspective on the ethics that you consider. For example, there is a ethic law called Kantian ethics that they don't consider the overall happiness. They consider what the moral law universally says. So if you follow this, it can be totally okay it will be totally ethic for something to be taken away from you if the platform says that at first you didn't buy the ownership, you just bought a license that specifically said that it could be revoked at any time that they consider that they will take it away. Also, there is a second viewpoint, ethics, that is utilitarianism, that this one does considers the overall happiness. And if you follow this, it wouldn't be the most ethic thing to do to take something away just because the terms of the platform says it. Uh, when someone gets taken away, the happiness is not so elevated, so they sue the company and things happen. And considering happiness is not the best thing to do. Uh, I would say that the best thing for these issues is to have a clearer communication when writing the terms and things like that, so the buyer knows exactly what they are obtaining. So confusions don't happen in the future and things like sue or things like that. Thank you. This is the end.